Hello.
何
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. A ding, a dong, a bing, a bum. No, not a dot. Enter. At work right now, don't worry though, day's been alright. I bowed for some deer cookies. Some what? You bowed for some what cookies? I don't know what you're talking about there. Wow. Now, blah 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 blah. Excuse me. Excuse me. I am doing my best. I am doing my best. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. Eric, hi. Well, thank you for getting here first. Hello, Jack. Good to see you. You're back at work. The day's been all right, and you bowed for some deer cookies. I need you to explain to me what the deer cookies are, because like I'm not 100% certain of like, you know, what the deer cookies are. Like I don't know what kind of thing that is. What's more is like I've once again have forgotten where you work and such like that, because it's not Malaysia, it's somewhere entirely different. And I keep getting it wrong. Also, hi there, Jason. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, oh, actually, I should probably plug in this thing. Actually, not this. I should probably plug in the keyboard cookie for Jason. Here's your cookie, Jason. So yeah, oh my goodness. The leap motion sometimes will, like, this is me holding the controller, but I hold it in such a weird fashion. Quite frankly, it's like holding it like as if, oh, someone's demonstrating to you like where to hold it, where it's like the thumbs are on top instead of like right behind it to do like pushes and such, because then like if you need to do like the, yeah, like I don't know, it just doesn't feel, I feel like there needs to be a better means of tracking if I'm gonna be like swapping between keyboard and mouse, especially since I'm gonna have like, you know, I don't know why, but like way too often. Maybe it's because I've gotten bigger and shit like that, and even after losing weight, this isn't gonna happen anytime soon. But it doesn't really have like a good field of motion, really, because it's like I can end up, my arms can end up like here, and sometimes they'll like wig out, as you see there. It's like the minute I flip like a hand, like rotate like 90 degrees, it'll decide not to do it and such. Tempting to do like a webcam stream or something like that. That would be kind of cool, but I don't want to do those as a regular thing. I think I'll do those as like a bits or a sub goal or something like that. I wish I could adjust my sub goal, so instead of it saying like subs, it can be something along the lines of like, oh, an actual like, you know, goal to reach. How are you and how was your day? It was all right. It was a work from home day, which was pretty good. I've actually been trying to reduce the amount of soda I drank, because I drank like a lot of soda. A lot of soda back on Tuesday. I must have easily have drunken like, you know, 2 liters by accident or some bullshit. What's this? Optifast, Optifast. So the Optifast soup and bars, okay. The bars and soups of the Optifast, not. Water, V plus F, shake. Afternoon is V plus F, shake, and supper is V plus F. Vegetables, 5 servings per day. Not starchy vegetables, not free vegetables. I can't properly... I'm gonna be real with you, I don't have a really good way of reading this. Alright. But yeah, the doctor's note, and I cannot read the doctor's handwriting. Why can't they just type this shit? So yeah, but yeah, no, the last week I drank like a lot of soda back on Tuesday, and that made me go from like 135.4 to like 135.9, and I was like, holy shit, that is scary. I'm supposed to be on a huge calorie deficit diet. Why did I gain weight? And sure, it's like only half a kilo, but why the fuck did I gain weight? So I like, I've tried cutting out so on Wednesday I reduced the amount of soda I was drinking. I kept to like my 3 shakes a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thankfully, the weight I went away, like, whatever the water weight was, or perhaps, but it was still stuck at 135.5. And I was like, that's okay, but, considering last week I was able to lose like as much as 5 kilos in the span of a week, I would much rather, keep trying to like lose weight in that kind of speed. Oh my god, it's the Zeebs. Hi there, Eric. Welcome to the stream. You were here first. Of course I was gonna be here. The countdown finished. I'm just going on about like my diet and what have you because I'm on like a calorie deficit thing. I'm on a very low calorie deficit thing. Yeah, no, I've this week so far from like so since Monday, quite frankly, until today, Friday, I've still been the 135 category. So,
Nani?
what do you do if you get hungry? Well, the times I get hungry, like, or that I notice that I'm getting hungry is kind of like, when meal times are anyway. So, for instance, it's like if I'm hungry, it's like, because I woke up or something like that, so I get the shake then. I'm not really feeling hungry until like 11:30 or 12:30, depending on my energy levels and what have you. And then today I went for my shake at like 4:30 p.m. instead of like 5 or 5:30. So I've had my dinner shake like half an hour earlier than normal, but I'm kind of okay with that because by having it earlier, it means that there's a longer span of time in which I'm not eating, which means that there's a bit of a fasting period by accident. But that's not the point of this diet. I'm not supposed to be doing a fast with this. It would be like I would really question like how quickly I would lose weight on a fasting with shakes diet, but I would much rather stick to a consistent breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the appropriate times. But yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, it's not. I'm gonna be real with you. Going from like a week of losing 5 kilograms to getting into the second week here and not losing 5 kilograms, it's kind of affecting my mood. And I don't, because like I don't want to consume like all this like no sugar soda, even my no sugar no caffeine soda, because like I don't know if that's like doing a bit of an effect on me, like have like consuming those things in an attempt to try and lose more weight. And I don't want to alter the shakes diet or anything like that in total. And it feels like that the only other way for me to like lose more weight at this point is I'd have to go into exercise. But the guy pointed out of like, oh, don't go for exercise when you're doing this. So it's like I'm supposed to do like the normal amount of like, activity that I do, which I am. So it's like, is my body just adapting that quickly to the weight loss where it picked up on the 5 kilo weight loss and it was just like, let's not get you under 130, despite the fact that like I could really lose like 30 kilo, like I still have this huge belly. Like it's still here and what have you. And like I took some fursuit photos. Like I haven't been in my fursuit for a while, and I took some fursuit photos. And the reason I did that was of like, hey, it still fits me, which is nice. But then also I was able to get like a before. I was able to get a before shot for whatever it is that I want. Like so then after like the shakes diet and whatever else I'm going to be doing on the side, maybe getting the treadmill. I wanna have like I wanna have like my fursuit photos as like a nice means of being able to do like a before and after shot and presenting it to you, the viewers, rather than, having it where it's like I have my before and after shots, but I'm doing all this nonsense to blur my face or something when I'm better off just, putting on the fursuit head. So yeah, so I've got that, and actually, let me just show you. Let me show you one of the images. So because I was talking about this particular problem, this annoyance, I should say, that I was personally having, which was like what prompted the weight loss and what have you. Let me get one of my one of the fursuit photos. Like now, be in mind, I took this photo like back on like Sunday or something like that. So Where is it? Where are my fursuit photos? Also, why is my computer running so slowly? What is this computer's problem? Where is it? Is it this one? It's gonna be, there we go. All right, edit, and then I'm gonna save a copy. You're gonna see you're gonna see a fursuit chat. You're gonna see some IRL nonsense. Save a copy. We're gonna save it. Yep, it's just gonna go in the downloads. We're gonna save it as a PNG. I'm gonna go to my downloads folder, and I'm gonna click and drag it into here. Ding dong. Hi there, Wild Saber. Plague Doctor appears next to you. Drugs? If they're weight loss drugs, I'm interested. All right, let me just shrink you down, because, like, yeah, you're way too big. Ding. Bong. Yonk. All right. Now, this is what I look like in my fursuit. I know, like, the shirt isn't perfect. The shirt should be, like, much lower down. I will remember this for next time. Like, the logo thing. But that... Okay, hang on a sec. You can't see me do the points and what have you. That... This is the problem with my, like, model is, like, there. That thing there. If you don't get, like, what I'm annoyed about, let me just crop this nonsense so you can see. So, Yom. Zoom. Yeah, bump. Nice spare tire. Yeah, so, that shit, right? That shit right there, I don't like that. I personally do not like... By the way, I'm wearing a belt for that one because I'm wearing a tail, but I'm gonna be real with you. There have been 1 or 2 days I have to start wearing a belt, so then that way I'm not just, like, pulling my pants while I'm going to work, which is kind of nice, but I'd rather, you know, have jeans again that don't need a belt, so... But either way, I'm gonna most likely need, a belt more often for my jeans and what have you. But if I wear a belt for the jeans, it doesn't really work out for my belly because it's, like, pushing into the belt buckle and what have you, which is, like, very annoying. Anyway, but this is the problem here. This is what I'm trying to solve with my... Hand. Why don't you... Come on, hand. Yeah, that. That is... Come on, hand. Do the tracking. You can do it. There we go. That is what I'm trying to... This is what I'm trying to get rid of. Because that was what was happening to me back in July on 150 kilos. Is I'm trying to remove all that fucking nonsense there. The, like, all that fatty nonsense. So then that way it's like, you know, if I'm puffing out my chest, I'm not puffing out a spare donut tire as well. Or whatever the fuck it's called. So, yeah, this is what I'm trying to... That's what I'm trying to remove on, like, my body and what have you. And as tempting as it would be to just, like, you know... I really wish this was a thing. I really wish the human body was way more malleable for us to just go, like, bzzz, and just, like, you know, cut the fat out. But apparently we're not allowed to do that. We can't do that. We have to be manageable with our weight by going through exercise or by dietary changes. And if you're obese, I'm sorry, you don't get a special route. So, yeah, I gotta go through all that. Yeah. So, that's what I gotta deal with. And I want to try and get rid of as much of that nonsense as possible come, like, December or something like that, when I'm gonna be up in the States. Thankfully, my jacket that I have, which I probably wore in 2019, sorry, that still fits me, which is good, but I don't have any shirts. Okay, let me clarify. I do have shirts. They're all work shirts, however. I do not have any casual shirts or semi-formal shirts to wear when I'm up in the United States that would also be applicable for winter. I am in a very tight spot in that regard. Thankfully, though, because of the fact that I'm not eating as much as I normally need to, like, I just need to purchase, like, $160 or $200 worth of shakes. Those shakes last me a month, basically. And, yeah, I'm able to... Hello, Incineroar. Welcome to the stream. You missed out on some of the talks about where I am in my weight loss and what have you. But, yeah, Brain, come on. So yeah, so because I only have to like purchase food like once a month technically, I have way more spare money, which is frankly going to need to go to clothes. Ah. Ah. So yeah. That's where I am in my thingamadiggies. So yeah. But it's Friday night. So, while everyone is, you know, having some real fun, like, you know, I'm a little Cinnamoroar, why do you do this? You bully me. You don't chat. You just kick W and throw it dumpy. If I didn't have the redeems, would you be here? Oh, hang on. Alright, hang on. I missed that. I am most certainly going to restart this planet all over again, just because I do not like that they have planets that are like, oh, you need to take part in the loading, like, you know, run-in sequence. Like, look at this. Who knows? You would. There we go. We fucked up the bunnies. Alrighty. Wait, is this mud or sand? No, it's just sand. Okay, cool. I thought it was mud and I was gonna be like sinking or some shit, but I guess not. But hey, we got a flower. Alright, so they just do that. You. The trees are a lot sturdier in this world. Alright. What is today? What is the gimmick today? Oh, hello. Oh, why are you balding me again? Oh, nice. Alright, so... Oh, nice. Cool. Get rid of the badger moles. There's a surgery which involves no cutting. I don't know the name of the surgery, but it involves the doctor sending a camera into your stomach and the inside of your stomach to shrink it over time. Your stomach shrinks naturally and the stitches either get removed or dissolve, and it's a single-day surgery. The thing you might be talking about might be a gastric sleeve. I'm gonna be real with you. That is that's not getting rid of the fat. What that is doing is, you know, actually shrinking your stomach. So it's actually, like, physically making you incapable of eating more food. Like, and what's more is because of your stomach shrinking and, you know, the kinds of foods you're able to eat not possible. Oh, nice. There we go. Oh, okay. Cool. What the hell is he saying? No, 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 no. Oh, goddamn it. But okay. But yeah, gastric sleeve is... Oh, hey, it's... Oh, he's like... Oh, he's got, like, thingies. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, so now he's got platforms we can stand on. Oh, we need to activate a platform. Okay, hang on. So grab that, so he absorbs it. And then we got this. Okay. And then, yep, there's a big coin there. I thought so. Of course, there was going to be something here. Alright. Ooh, okay. go. Egg! But yeah, the gastric sleeve, I have a family friend that's had a gastric sleeve as well, and, you know, it's not a, you know, huge, like, you know, it's not a gastric bypass where, you know, your small intestines or what have you turn into your stomach or what have you. Ooh. How long are they on the thing? Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, also, I should have double-checked. Oh my god, I'm like 2 thingy-madiggies behind. Okay, we're definitely gonna... Why did I have to get bored by the tree so soon? Hey there, Jack. Welcome back. How's it going? Just sucking their brains out, I see. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Is there? Yeah, there is. Of course there is. There we go. Gives us the food. And then dink. Alright, let's see. Hey, another person. Yeah, okay, so I just missed the first 2 because I was in a I was just in an entirely different place. You know, mice. Birds. Views. There we go. Alrighty. Look. Go. Ah! Hi there, J-Cat. Hi there, Stars. Oh, Cap! Welcome, welcome. I just went through like a conversation about my like weight loss and such. This week I have not lost too much weight as opposed to last week. It's only been like a kilo at best, or maybe even only half a kilo. So. There we go. Oh no! I only have so many! Okay, I'm gonna need a trunk of funk. Is that what they're calling this thing? A trunk of funk? Alright, I'm gonna need to be mindful of the amount of thingy-diggy I have then. Alrighty. Or I just get inflated. Oh, it's the name of the game. The name of the level. Okay. I wasn't paying attention, okay? I'm not being paying attention. I am running second week into my calorie deficit, not losing as much weight as I want. Oops, hello. There we go. I didn't lose as much weight as I wanted this week, and I'm not looking forward to the possibility that I'm gonna be told of like, yeah, that's just gonna be what happens when you know, body gets used to that shit. Alright, so if I go... There we go. Spot number 3. And then bounce.
Hello.
Oh my god, now! Hi there, YY. Welcome to the stream. Currently getting destroyed by the big monkey Vegeta. Oh, you're playing, Sparking Zero or something or other, right? That's what you're playing? Alright, let's see if I can get there. Oh my god, that... Oh, why is it... 1, 2, 3... Ah, okay, so... Towards that. Oh, I went too far. There we go. And this goes up. Excelente. Ah, okay, so that's how. Oh, it's a worm! Oop. Let's avoid the worm. There we go. Oh, okay, we need to open this. Oop. Alrighty. Oop. There we go. I have no clue who that is. A spirit guide. Okay. Think. Jumping across. Absorb more of this. Alright, let's wait for the worm. Alright, what do you think are the chances of there being... Nah, okay. I thought there would be a secret there, but I guess not. I am a very, you know, just curious mind. Alright, we'll just have all these. And then, alright, we get honey now. Is the honey. There we go. Just infinite honey. Alright, how... Okay, I'm gonna need to think about this more logistically. Ah, god damn it. Alright. I'm not gonna... I know they're coins, but I don't want to give up on the coins. And that almost got me stuck. Alrighty, so they're around about here. 1, 2. Oh, you... Alright, well I now know where I need to go. Let me just move towards some more honey. Alright, so that's the first one. Now... There we go. Easy. I didn't have to use a third one. Alright. Absorb. And then... Okay. That's how. Okay, so that's what they want me to do. That. puzzle piece. Oh, it's the... God damn. That's not what I want to see. That means I've missed an earlier puzzle. Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those explore again areas. Great. The tentacle system? The what? I have no clue what you're talking about there. That was a close one. Alright, that was a bit of a close call, but we did it. Yay, I knew I made a smart decision. Get out of there. Leave the bears there, honey. Alright, so I still have the first two Oh my god. Just sucking up the yolk. Nope. And I think I'm stuck in the... There we go. Did it! Except I'm missing a puzzle piece, and I'm... Oh, he's flossing! Ooh, hello. And we get ourselves 100 coin. No doubt I am going to go to the beginning of this thing and then quickly get out of it, because, you know, I want more of those machines. Oh, hello. What's this? What's this? What's this? There we go. The fuck is that? Retro Rampage. Alright, let's have a look at another Retro Rampage, then. Because this is apparently my second one. Honestly, I love this. Oh, it's a... Yeah, okay. What the... Okay. Alright, so I need to be a little more mindful. Or just be an idiot and run right into it again. There we go. Oh hey, it's Ken! Nice. We got another what's a Mahoozy guy? Look at him. Do it again! And again! got another Ken for our troubles. Alright, so that gets that completed. That's for a whole... Alright. We're going back in here for the first two, what's-a-mahoozy guys. Alrighty, so through here, so we go... 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1... You... And then there's the flower. Let's do the quick work. Spin for the coin stuff. There we go. Refill with water. There we go. Alright, now let's look around this area. Oh hey, it's a cow! Street Fighter. Yes, Ken from Street Fighter. Oh, there's a guy on a deer. Get out there. Alright, so there's our first missing guy. Now where's the other one? Oh, there's the missing one. Thankfully, I didn't have to go that far. Excellent. Bam. There we go. Alright, who is that? Is he from... Is this Sam Whitaker from Days Gone? Is that who it is? Must be. Alrighty. Ding dong. Ooh, hello. Alright, so we have a golf ball thing? Ah, I see. We have him as the golf ball. Alright. Alrighty, hang on. Okay, so... Hey, a hole in one! And we get our second puzzle piece without it trying. Nice. Alright, we can leave this island now. We can actually... I can just pick these guys up and it's like, yep, cool, we're going, we're leaving this island. We don't need to fuck around. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, I didn't find the secret there. We got the cheese. Alright, now we got Wormy Passage next. Oh. Wait, no, hang on. Don't. Oh, hello. There we go. Give me the... Hey, it's the fisticuffs! Get out of there. There we go. Oh, hey, it's Ellie. Remember how she murdered a pregnant woman for revenge? And then never followed up on the revenge after the fact? Shame. Nice! Take a screenshot there. Look at all the strong marsupials. You want to play Astro Bot? It looks so freaking cute. It is honestly, for me personally, it is such a fresh air of fun for me. Because I've been going through all these like JRPGs or Souls-like. So to go through something that is just, you know... I've gone through like 2 platformers now, and I have not been sick and tired of them. I have, frankly, been enjoying them. I have really been enjoying my time in any of the platformers that have been going off. I feel like I might need to do what Blue does, which is just play older games that I've like, you know, not have the instance of being able to play, even if they're like real simple mechanically speaking. Ow. Inflates me big and round. Hi there, Gyro. Welcome to the stream. What perfect timing on that message as a random, like, you know, worm inflated me big and round. There we go. Alright, so what do you want? There we go. Hey, we got one of our fellas here. There we go. Get back here. Thank you for the Hyper Himbo. I greatly appreciate it. We get ourselves another thingy-majoogies. And we get ourselves more coin. Thank goodness. Did I miss? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. I don't want to end up, like, missing anyone, like, as I go through these things. Especially since this is the same mechanic as a previous... Go. That is bot number 3. And then... Somehow I screwed that up. Deflates me small and square? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to me, Queen Kaiju Pixel. You wouldn't spend 420 any bits just to make me small. Alright, bam. Okay, so that's to do that. And then, thing to do that. There we go. Alright, who's this? Okay, so we got Ellie and we got Joel. Alright, so we got the last of us in this, like, fucking, you know, mushroom-infected, nonsense. Alright, here we go. Ah! Jack! Hi there, Yun. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so I need a jump. I need a jump, sustain, and then so roll, sustain, roll, and then sustain, and we're there. Silly worms. Ah! Get out of here. Oh, I had to use both to... Okay. Cool. Cool, cool. That totally makes sense. Another spider trap. Let's get you out of there. Nice! Alright, we got 2 more to go here, and we get all the bots. Nice. Nice. Cutting it close, but I got there. Okay, so for whatever reason, the right punch aimed for the right thing, but the left punch aimed for the... There we go. Get out of here. Nice. Alrighty. Is there any secret nonsense? Alright, so I already picked up those coins from the other side previously. Oh my god, the water just like... Look at that water! Are you seeing this water? This is just punch the water. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. Alright, and then... Oh, okay, I can't... Okay, so I shouldn't... Alright, hang on a second. Alright, ding. Oh, hello. Who the fuck are you? Oh, it's just like one of the shroom people. You don't actually serve a thing. Okay. Oh, I see. I sink if I don't swim. Okay. That makes sense at saying it out loud. I was just so confused as to how I was able to, like, dive so far down so easily. There we go. Sumo wrestler, here we go. Alright, we'll try that again. How have I been? It's been a hot minute. I've been fairly alright. I have been doing alright. Last week lost 5 kilos, which was great. This week, not lows as much. I think that just might be a case of... Oh, no! God damn it. I got vored by a worm. Oh my God. Hello, there you are. Let me get you. Alright, that's all of the bots rescued on the level. Oh, you kidding me? I have to do this on a time attack. Oh, I got digested. I'm gonna have to do this on a time attack. Nice. Open wide. Did it. All 7 of them. And we get ourselves another 100 coins. There we go. But yeah.
Give me that leg, boy.
No, Kahlua, you do not get the leg. I really need this leg, okay? I only lost like a kilo this week, and I think what's gonna happen is my body has already gotten used to like the rapid amount of calories that I do not need right now, and it's decided to just be like, oh, we're gonna be on conservation mode, which means that I'm going to need to do like some, you know, exercise thingy-majiggy at some point in the future, which I don't want to do. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm hoping that's not the case. Maybe, like, you know, after a week or some nonsense, it's not going to be. Where's the thingy-majiggies? Hang on a second. But, if it is that case...
It's Kahlua paid me to say zebras on the conservation. I see.
No, I'm having a conversation. But I'm not on the conservation. But you know what you could do? You could help contribute to a cool treadmill. This is one that can actually hold my weight, because most walking pad things, like, I don't want to go for a full-size treadmill. I want to go for something I can set like under my desk or something like that. So if I want to, I can, like, you know, work while doing the walks and such. That fucker can hold 145 kilograms. It is quite impressive. Can we get a shout out for Kahlua, please? Alright, so we've done the full thingamajiggy on that. We've done the full thingamajiggy on that. We've got... Alright. Oh, hello. There's a thingamajiggy over here. Oh, no, it's just stars being funky. Never mind. I thought it was going to do something cool. Smash that lock. We got 60, what's-my-hoozy things. Slackers, parts of glory. Of course. Do you have a Nintendo Switch, Kahlua? I have a thingy. Hey. Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you for contributing. I greatly appreciate it. There we go. Crumble Rumble 2. Thank you for the contributions. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, one of the things I'll most certainly do for you guys, like, is I'll need to do, like, a, you know, a feet cam or something like that. I'll need to do, like a feet cam or something, so then that way, like, while I'm exercising or something, you guys can see me do the thing. What's these guys' deal? Oh, am I meant to, like, I have to actually break their thingy-majiggy. Feet cam? Cam for free? No, not for free. First off, I'll need the treadmill. I'll need the treadmill first, and then secondly, I'll probably make it where it's like a bit goal or something like that. So I'll make it so, like, you know, with enough, like, there we go. Alright. Who are you? A pro golfer? Loves birdies, especially eagles and albatrosses. But yeah, like, I'll get like a webcam or something like that, or maybe a GoPro to attach it to the side of this wall, and I'll make it so that when we reach, like, bit or sub goals and such like that within the month, I will do, like, a sort of IRL stream with, like, in, like, with a fursuit head or something, and then, like, you know, additional things with, like, you know, like, going on, like, the walks and such. That way, it's like, you know, I'm not just, like, yeah, incentives. Break that castle. Screw you, Splatoons. What the fuck is that thing? Oh, it's just a giant fish. Okay, I thought it was holding something on the back of its head. Oh. That cannon. And is it the monkey? Oh no, it's the fists! I thought it was gonna be the monkey again, quite honestly. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, okay, so fists, general damage. Dink, there we go. Nice, X marks the spot. And then a square. No, I couldn't tell. That's too high. Alright, here we go. And then... let it loose! Okay, I think that... yeah, this is a boss battle. Okay. It's the giant squid! Hot shot gold? Maybe? Maybe. Do you actually mean bits or the channel redeem? So, when we reach either the bit or the sub goal, I'll make it so that we'll do like an IRL stream or something like that. And we'll make it and during the IRL stream, there will be like a means of being able to, like, you know, see the feats and what have you. Stop hitting yourself. Oh, sorry, no, that just gets rid of the fists. Okay. And, oh, shit. There we go. Fist number 2. I don't have much health left. And then... bam! Break you in the head. Oh, I'm gonna need to do this in 3s. Oh, unless... there we go. So that's one of them. I guess they need goggles so they don't, like... oh, never mind. Yep. They inflate me so big, I burst. You walked into an AoE... I did. I honestly did. You'd think after playing Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMORPG, I would have learned not to run into AoE markers, but that's not the case. That's not the case. I did not learn my lesson. See, how am I supposed to... look, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how I was gonna be able to avoid those. Like, because sometimes they feel like I don't have a way to, like, sprint. At least I don't think I do. I don't have a way of, like, sprinting faster than normal. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, cool. I was worried I was gonna... And then he jumps, and then he drops his minions, and then... No. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. And then jump into his face again. I'm doing this with like no, what's in the Uzi? I'm doing this with no spare lives. Astro Bot has the Echo. I don't know if it's called the Echo, but sure. Oh, hang on. I guess he doesn't like the... Oh, no, nope, 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 nope. That's not good. Oh, I see what we need to do. How? Was I supposed to just... Okay, cool. They have me starting over here. Okay, excellent. And with my health back. Okay. Alright, so that's eye number 1. There we go. Eye number 2. Now, are we going in this blowhole? No, we're just hitting him in the square in between his eyes. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh my god! Nice. No, I didn't beat the game. This is just one. This is just like one area. So we've gotten 2 more robots. We got Kratos and Atreus. Sorry. I just know him as Boy for so long that, like, you know, Atreus just sounds like, you know, Atreus sounds weird at first, but it's like, no, his name is Atreus. So, yeah. But no, what do you guys think of, like, you know, having sub-goals put in place for, having sub-goals put in place so then that way I'll, like, if we reach it, I'll do, like, an IRL, like fursuit stream, like our fursuit head stream with channel redeems for the treadmill or something like that. So it's like a fun. Do we have to? Yep, cool. We get coins for dealing with the ghost birds, Odin's lackeys. Nice. Hello. There we go. You're dead. Oh, hello. There we go. Snake is alive. Nice. There we go. Ding. Ding. Dong. Doesn't sound like... I know they're trying to make it like all 8-bitty, but it doesn't like 100% sound to me like a God of War thing just yet. Oh, wait. No, there it is. Dun, dun. Oh my god! We get... Oh. Come on, you can do it, boy! Yeah! It's not exactly like the powers of Thor, but sure. Is he gonna just... Oh, that's cool. Nice. Oh, nice. Okay, so we got ice powers, and it comes back to us. Oh my god, that is so cool. Oh, that is awesome. So the previous like post-boss level we went to was a thingamadiggy on Ape Escape, and this one is Bot of War Ragnarok. Alright. Alright, so this is Abajoy Erica. It's Loki's girlfriend is who it is. And he's like, there we go. Oh, this is just cool. This is just fun, honestly. This is just so good. This, like, there are moments here where it's like, sure, they're just doing a thing where it's like, oh, here's a robot that is in reference to a character you've seen and such, which is like, you know, not all that important. And then, oh, there's, Thrud. That's, Odin's, sorry, not Odin. That's, Thor's daughter. She wants to be a Valkyrie. I remember her. But yeah, there's games like, you know, this level where it's just like, oh, here's a, like, you're just playing as, like, this 8-bit, like, chibi God of War level, which is just, you know, this is just sincere fun. Alright, so now we have axe stuff. Okay, cool. And then jump across. So yeah, so that's obviously a reference to, like, the frost giant that died. Or, like, the giant that died in the beginning of, or like in the first God of War 2016 thing. And then we've got the world, not the world tree, but the dude. Come on, there we go. This guy was what's Mahuzi's home, Freya. There we go. And then we've got. And it's doing like the ice thing. Oh no, he got killed! Alright, what happens here? Oh, this is the horn to summon Jormungandr. Boom. There we go. The World Serpent. Nice. And then... Oh, so that would have been, Boulder. Oh, it's saying Thunder God. Okay, so maybe that's, instead, Thor instead. I guess, I wonder where Boulder is. Because they can't be making a reference only to Ragnarok, because, you know, that giant turtle was Freya's home earlier, and we didn't go back to that earlier. Or we didn't go back to that in Ragnarok. Alright, and then... Fuck you, bird. Alright, that was simple. I love that one. There we go, so that freezes all the gears. Nice. Yep, that breaks the hammer, getting us to another area. And then... Who's this? What's his name? Dwarven... The only thing bluer than their skin is their language. Oh, that's, not Sindri... Brock! That's Brock! Alright, hang on. Am I missing? Yeah, okay, so I missed a step. I missed one. Oh, I see. He's over there. Okay, so it's that thing. Alright, so I need to use this to... There we go. Then opens that up. Ah, okay, I thought it was gonna be a... So where's his buddy? Where's Sindri? There he... This must be it. Nice. Oh, we need to find the birds in order to unlock this thing. Okay. Oh, that's, Mimir. This is all... I'm liking this. Are you guys catching all the, references? Or am I, like, shouting them out too soon and you're having them... And you're just sort of like, ah, damn it, I can't educate the himbo Zeebs. I love how... Could you imagine fucking, like, Kratos trying to do that? Like, the pirouette nonsense? Yes, there is. Awesome. Probably would have been a better idea to, like, you know... Oh, and it looked... I like how this thing... I didn't play it, but I love watching some videos of God of War. Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. Hopefully, like, I played God of War, like, earlier on. Alright, hang on. So I need to... Oh my god, I'd be missing all the puzzles. I've missed like every single puzzle except for that one there.
Hey Grant, did you hear about the Asgardian who dropped to hammer his foot? He was very thought.
You feel very confident with that one, don't you? Alright. And that one would be Sindri. Yep, strong metalwork, weak stomach. Yep. Alright, and then bonk. There we go, coin. I knew it was a good idea. Alright, I will need to go through this level again in order to find the missing pieces. Oh, okay, I see. Alrighty, boar again. Nidhogg. That's not exactly who Nidhogg is, but sure. And they're giving us the noises as well. Yum. Did you know why the Asgardian trickster god was not good at playing the piano? He could never find the low key. Oh, we found a ship part. Something really frozen. I imagine that is going to be the CPU. Oh wait, no, I think we got the RAM, I think? So earlier on we got the RAM. This one must be the CPU. Alrighty, time to get to the reconstruction efforts. Hi there, Izzy. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. You missed out on me showing off my, like me and my fursuit and what have you. There we go. You missed out on me and my fursuit and demonstrating like the part of the belly that I do not like and what have you. Explaining myself. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that looks like the CPU. There we go. A lot of physical movements. I just got done with with my last commission work of the month. Oh, nice. Also missed. Grant, not laughing at my amazing jokes. All right, hang on. I need to aim. There we go. And then professional IT right here. This is exactly how inserting CPUs are. I think this is a CPU. There we go. See, are you the CPU or are you something else? Just shove it in there. That part, however, is quite realistic of PC parts. I'm gonna be real with you. Solid performance. Okay, what was solid? Recover the motherboard's SS. Okay, so that's actually the solid state drive. Okay, I thought it was the CPU. My bad. Whee! Did I get up to 100? Oh, so close. Hey, I get the new. I get a machine shop. Splash my dash. The dual speedster garage is open. Get it and give your dual speeder a whole new look. Okay, this one I'm looking forward to, is being able to, like, get the thing to change stuff. Ah? Oh, hey, it's another thingamadoobs. Hello? Why am I getting notifications? Oh, reminder to go to sleep and what have you. Alrighty. $60 of us. That's fine. There we go. All right, what's the trick? What's the... Oh, okay, there we go. There we are. And then another 60. They're gonna make a long-ass line. are. Alright, hopefully we'll be able to get some... There we go. Alright, let's rescue the 60 here so we get 5 more, which gets us over 100. So we can get to the final thingy-majiggy from the other thing. There we go. Push! Nice. We got way more bots than normal, which is great. $104. Yeah, look at this. Like, we need like 100 for this one. Nice. Whee! Oh! The fuck is that? Have any of you played a video game featuring this cat? That reminds me to make sure my Switch is charged for tomorrow. I think about to... Yes! Tomorrow! By the by, peoples, tomorrow there is going to be a community stream. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow, Saturday, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I am going to be hosting, as usual, at the end of our month, I am going to be hosting a party game stream. Now, it is... I'm going to be frank with you, one we've already played, don't get me wrong, but it's one I still, recommend you all join. You're all invited. Yes, you right there, lurking right now. Ow, or maybe even watching this on a VOD. Bam! Party game stream! Saturday, October 26th. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. I'll present, like, the room code and all that kind of nonsense when we actually get into the stream and what have you. I've sent some invites to some of the peeps that I am friends with, so that there's going to be people in the VC as well. Some good back and forth. Oh, it's from Stray. Oh, damn, and I even played Stray. God damn it. Lol. Alright, what's the trick here? Ah, okay, it's just to break this. Hey, look, a monkey. And the Shiba influencer. When they bark, humanity listens. Nice. And then... Oh, more views. 105, 40... Oh, we only need 40 view? Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. And flip. There we go. And we get ourselves a puzzle piece. We can do this. Whee! Nice. And this gives us Robotic Sucker. It gets under your skin. Never heard of that one before. Oh. Another bot rescued. There we go. Ta-da! Another satellite. You forgot the title, but it's for a mosquito. There was a mosquito game? Nintendo was, like, sorry, not Nintendo. Like, Sony made a fucking mosquito game? Bullshit. Mr. Mosquito. I swear, if it's that simple of a fucking name. It must have been from the early years. Never fucking heard of it. Like, granted, I did not grow up with a PlayStation, but let me be real with you. I did hear about a lot of the video games and such. I knew about Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and Uncharted. I knew of all those. Anyway, I'm heading back here because there was like another place I needed to go. Oh. Yeah, cool. One more thing. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 9 pieces. But that's not the thing we're working on right now. The thing we're working on right now is... Oh, and these guys all want something. Alright. Over here, there was like something that required like 100 minions. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Alright, now the question is this all original characters, or is there gonna be some, you know, generic bots in this thing? Generic bot 1? Alright. Here we go. Where is... Because there's something here is like, oh, you need a... Oh, here it is. It's this thing right here. 100 bots. I barely have the strength. One more. 6 more. There we go. Raid? What the hell? Hi there, passenger! Welcome to the stream! Welcome, welcome, everyone! My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer, going through a lot of games either that are brand new or in my backlog. Friday night tonight, we're going through a new game. We're going through Astro Bot! A game where everyone is just, you know... It's a fun platformer making reference to, like, a lot of the different, like, PlayStation titles. I highly recommend, you know, checking it out. And, you know, maybe you might be able to figure out, like, some of the PlayStation references. There are some very obscure ones that have been going off. And we're going to... Oh, and then there's, like, a gotcha thingy-majiggy over there. But yeah, look at some of the things you can get. Like, look at this. You've got, like, the Kakakuri, or whatever they're called, with their, like, little ball here. Look at that. Just running around. You got Cat over here. Go. I just want more coin, thank you. Then we've got, like, cats. We got, like, meerkats or something over here. Alright. Adventure awaits! How was Satisfactory? I hope it was a wonderful stream, passenger. And for everyone else, welcome. Sit back, relax. If you want to unwind instead, you're welcome to do so. As we go through the Snake Galaxy, or whatever the fuck it's called. Alright. Oh my god, gambling. There's a gambling world. Look at this. Slow-mo casino. Like this is motion with the controller. Oh, Crystal. Sebesta Crystal. Slow-mo casino. But there's nothing slow about this. Oh my god, look at all these dice. VR? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I need to have the slow-mo running in order to... Look at all these dice. Like... Nope, that won't do it. Alright, so can't sink down there. It's almost like Prince of Persia. Ah, that is such gamble nonsense. Let's go gambling! Oh. Alright, so... we can't jump our way up there. So we're gonna need to see what happens when we go in here. Flamingo in a top hat. Okay. Oh, come on. Alright, gamble. Damn. Oh, wait, hang on. I got an idea. Oh, you... okay, so I need to, like... Yes, that's it! That's it! Oh, I thought I was gonna get, like, an amiibo thing, but okay. Damn it. There we go. Remember, kids, gambling never wins. Alright, here we go, here we go. Five. There we go. Nice. Time to cash in. Oh, I'm missing a bot already. All right, hang on. Can I go back? Nope, I cannot go back. God fucking damn it. Back to the beginning, cause I... Alright, time for the time thingy-majiggy. Thank you. Oh, I see. Damn it. Okay. It's the dolphins. I want to use the dolphins to get to the platform. Okay. There we go. so that gets him. Nice. Alright, definitely gonna use it on enemies if I can. Dun, 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 dun. Damn, I thought I could do it in time. Nice, did it in time then. Another problem gambler I gotta pick up from the place. Yes, that's how physics works. Ah, good. I'm glad I did the double check. Alrighty. I hope we're gonna get, like, some cool, like, you know, unique ones here. Honestly, this looks cool. Like, you just do all this shit? Like, look at it. Like, you just freeze on the cards? Like, this would be a full-on mechanic in one game alone. This wouldn't, like, we wouldn't be having several normally. There we go. Ding. Dong. Oh, isn't this cool? I can barely understand the lyrics, though. Bam. Thank you. Okay, I did that because I think I actually might need those cards for something. Okay, maybe I don't need those cards. Yep. That wasn't gonna help. I'm convinced this game is aimed at game devs. Oh, this game, like, quite honestly, should have been released, like, way in the beginning of, the PlayStation 5's, like, life cycle. Like, it should not have been, like, so late into its cycle where they're like, oh, we're doing a PlayStation Plus and what have... a PlayStation 5, like, Pro or something. This should have been at the get-go. Like, they did do... Like, don't get me wrong, they did do Astro Bot, like, Playroom or something like that, but that was, like, a very small game, apparently. Like, I played a little bit of it, and, like, I didn't get it done in one session, but it was definitely not... It didn't feel as big or as vibrant as this game, but they played upon it. They improved upon it and released Astro Bot. So, I really feel like this, like, sort of game, if it was released just a little bit faster... So, like, if it was in, like, I don't know, maybe the second year or maybe the end of the first year of the PlayStation 5, it would have been, like, a really good, like, enthusiastic kind of thing, but... yeah. Alright, so I need to... there we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. Wait, did I... oh my goodness, I'm missing, like, 3 other, thingamadiggies. I am missing so many of them. I might have to start back at the beginning, or... like... oh my god, how am I missing so many of them? Actually, here we go, here we go. So... no. Ah, damn it. Of course it is. Yes, of course. Why? There we go. And then... there we go. Ah, god damn you. Can't... this is why I can't have nice things. Alright. Just get electrocuted. Fuck it. It'll take me all the way back there, and then I'll have to, like, run through this level all over again, especially for the... oh, I have to run through this. Fuck it. We're just gonna restart the level, like, sooner. I'm missing puzzle pieces. I'm missing all sorts. Zoom, 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 zoom. There we go. I wish I could dash. That's not a thing I can do, it seems. Alright, so, bam, to get the gloves, there, or to get the time stopper. There we go. So time... alright. I just love how it does, like, the whole, like, Quicksilver thing, where it's like, oh yeah, everything stops. It's just such a cool thing to see. There's a VR game too. Oh, there's like an Astro Bot VR game, you're meaning? Alright, I know what this game. Alright, here we go. So. That was not what I was intending. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, so through here, and then don't... alright, so I need them to, like, jump up. Like, there's gotta be a... hang on. Are the flamingos useful? No. Okay, then. So... how do I get up there? Because, yeah, these things are on their own physics. Ah, okay. This it? Yep, that looks it. Yep. Of course, it was going to be something more like that rather than using more of the freezing techniques. Here we go. Hi there, Nom. Astro Bot is robosexual, an asexual robot. You frogs. Alright, wait, did I... nope, I forgot to do the thingy-madiggy here. Aw, these monkeys thought they could do it. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. And jump. Or get electrocuted. Let's try that again. Alright, so do not touch the center thingy-madiggies. Alright, I might just have to, like... because I thought I could be, like, clever. 3. Oh, wait, no, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Yeah! Look at that. And then jump. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Now, is there... So I've already got that puzzle piece. There isn't, like, a secret behind me. Walked right into that one. How's it going, Nom Nanon? Are you enjoying your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are? Have you had a chance of playing Astro Bot, or are you just watching? Alright. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice! There's a, what's-a-mazoozy puzzle piece here. There we go. Alright, so puzzle piece number 2. Oh, okay. Alright. Alright, how do I get to you from here? Ah, okay, so it's one of these puzzle pieces. Nope, not that one. Oh! Oh, does anyone know who this is? Does anyone know who this is? Yes! Okay, cool, I'm doing this in sequential over. A ring-tailed thief. A master of taking things on the sly. John does overtime. It's one of the best PlayStation games. Ooh, that is some fighting. That is some fighting. That is some serious, you know, gumption there. Is it the best PlayStation game? Bam. And then. I love how. Oh. Just so many times this game is just like, hey, we're just doing an entirely different mechanic. There we go. They're just coming up with an entirely different mechanic for like the puzzle level and such. And normally that would be milked beyond belief during like it would be like Portal, where it would be the one thing. Whereas with this one, it's like, nope, we're just gonna keep on going. Bam. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we need to get that off there to reveal this. Jump across. Break you. Snap. Okay. Oh, no, never mind. Ooh, interesting. Nice. Dice Tumbler. They're on a roll. No idea who that is. None whatsoever. This level, if Devil Dice. Who? Who? I'm making that up. It's like Mr. Mosquito. Alright, hang on. Bam. And then freeze that so we can jump through it with no problem. Damn it, did not do it fast enough. And then okay, nope, that did not work. Alright, come on, come on. Do it again, do it again, do it again. Nice. There we go. Oh, wait, no, I'm going... Yeah, no, I am... Oh, I am going the right way. It's just... Yeah, I need to give myself, like, a lot of... There we go. And then this does the gamble. Yay! Mr. Mosquito is a fever dream. Alright, so I've got one more puzzle, and I'm good. Alright, I see what it wants me to do. Damn it. Okay, maybe not explicitly that one, or at least not at that height. I need to do it from, like, another height. There we go. I don't see a puzzle piece anywhere else. Oh yeah, because I stopped time, like my punches are a lot more powerful. Where is the puzzle piece? So I didn't see it on my way up here, and it didn't look to be there. Okay, so it gives me that, which is, you know, that's cool. But where is the final puzzle piece? Where are you? That was like, so that was a puzzle piece there. And then we got another puzzle piece from over there. So like, no, because that thing did like the gamble box. So what is it to do with this thing? No. Oh, hello. Maybe you're the answer? Yeah! There we go. That's all the puzzle pieces. Oh, come on. There we go. Ignore that. Ignore that one too. Look at the little robots, they're having the time of their lives. Alright, hang on. And boom. And jump, 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 jump. go. So that's all the puzzle pieces and all the robots completed. And our stopwatch is having a little rest. Good for him. Woo! More coins! More coins for the gotcha machine when we go back. Alright, little guys. Alright. This one was the first one that opens up, so we're gonna free Big Brother. Whee! Ah! Oh, he's got like a silly little hat. He's got a silly little hat. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, that's bot number 1. Puzzle piece. Hopefully, is this a number 1 or is this a number 2? That's a number 1. Cool. Awesome. Give me a minute, I'm doing a lot of collecting. Bot rescued. The Beast Tamer will grow up to have an incredible story to tell. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, actually, I probably should have double-checked. Was there, like, a secret thingy-majiggy under the floorboards? Probably would have been worth checking. Yep, there is. Puzzle piece number 2. Excellent. It's good to be smart. Crystal. The main character from The Last Guardian? Maybe. I haven't played The Last Guardian. I haven't played any of, like, you know, Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, or what have you. None of those. There we go. Yo fui. Oh, hey, look, we got a puzzle piece there. Yay! Puzzle piece. We are missing so many robots. Where could they all... Ah, they're probably up. How do you get up there? Alright, let's have a look. Or I just get burst my bubble. Nope, doesn't let me go that far. Nope, doesn't let me change the direction. Alright, so what's this guy's deal? Oh, hello, there's a thingy-majiggy here. How dare you steal my shirt, little Incineroar. Alright. So that's spot number 4. Look at all these oysters. So... Nothing there. I guess go to the big robot then. I can't think of anywhere else to any like other means, and I feel like you might be of help, big robot dude. What the fuck? Oh, hello. Okay, we are missing one. The Wandering Trespasser has a colossal task ahead of him. Hello. Thank you. Get out of there. Yep, and I missed another one on this little run around here. So, I'm missing a few robots here. There we go. Alright, one robot. I need one robot, and I'm pretty sure I know where I need to go for him. Hello. Where are you taking me? Like, it's in that, like, weird wall thing, but I don't exactly have a good means of getting to it. Ah, it don't matter, I guess. I knew there would be a Shadow of a Colossus bot in here. Of course there would be! They can't... Oh, hello. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so we rescued him. So we should be better. I at least got all the puzzle pieces. Yeah, I at least got all the puzzle pieces. I just wasn't able to get the, whatsamahoozy, all the robots. But we'll probably go back for more, no doubt. The bathhouse battle! More monkeys. Monkey, 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 monkey! Monkey. First ball rescued. Alrighty, Wee. Alright, what's in here? Oh! Alright, so what's your deal? Like a little bath. Alright, no doubt there's going to be tricks to this. Be calm. Boom, 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 boom. Get bigger. There we go. They had no idea. None whatsoever of the dangers of Astro Kong. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. Just destroying everything in my path. No, okay, so it doesn't care whether I'm big or small on these sides. Sponge bot. Okay, that makes more sense, I suppose. Alright, hang on a second, I need to... There we go. Bot rescued. Okay, so they're far apart, thankfully. They're not, like, really close together for most of it. Bamboo destroyed. It's just fun doing this kind of mayhem. No! What is Grant Wrestling? When is the Grant Wrestling large women's stream? When there's a video game where you're just wrestling large women, I suppose. Boo! No slacking off on the job. There's no cool bots yet. I want the cool ones. There we go, and we get ourselves a puzzle piece at least. Yay, cool, it's not the final puzzle piece. Cookie for Jason. Welcome back, Jason. How was dinner? Hopefully it was good. We're playing as a giant sponge. Toon's back in to see Grant doing his Grant thing of inflating into a large, more powerful version of himself. Yes. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. Thank you for the hyper himbo as well. I greatly appreciate it. Oh no, we're not gonna make it! Damn. There must be a reason for me to be on that thing, but I guess not. Oh, okay. You can't be big forever. Dinner was nice. Good. Alright, so I have to be small for this. There we go. Now, the last two bots are special, like, design-looking bots, which are always going to be obvious references to the PlayStation franchise. Creepy Sightjacker. What? Creep? What? Why are you so weird? Loses control at the sound of the siren. Oh, it hits me off? Okay. There we go, all three puzzles, that's the important bit. Forbidden Siren. Oh, is that who it is? Forbidden Siren? From, like, what franchise? Damn it, got hit by... Why does the fucking watermelon robot shoot fire? It's a watermelon, it should be shooting water. Alright, who's this? The pure-hearted puppet, prone to losing its head. This guy. The franchise is called Siren. Forbidden Siren is the title for the first game in PAL. Okay. Radio. Look at all these, like, bowling ball fish-looking things. Whee! Nice. Look at me go. Nope. No longer sponge. We didn't get a bathhouse battle, I'm sorry, J-Cat. We got, like, some weird references. Aw, it juked me. The last bot is from Puppeteer. So, like, Puppeteer Siren or just Puppeteer? There we go. And then Trapped in Time. Hopefully we'll get more, like, video game references with this one. That's what the game is called. Oh, I am always missing, like, I thought you're, like, making a reference to things, but I guess not. Into the Trapped in Time we go. Alright, let's see. Chicken! Oh. So, a jetpack. We got ourselves a jetpack, is what we got. Oh, okay, I see. Am I missing a puzzle? Alright, cool, so there's that. That's it from the looks of it. Alright. Whee! Missed that bot. Yes, I know I missed that bot, but I don't exactly have a good way of getting it out of there. Oh, maybe it is just this. Yep, it is just that. Okay. Alright, so that's the first bot. I was gonna get to that. I just wasn't too sure how. thought I punched it, but never mind. You got a Brewster. That is not really that I would associate with chickens. No, neither would I. I would be real with you. I did not think, like, boosters were a chicken thing. Jump through the gooey. Puzzle piece. Oh, that's puzzle piece number 2. Gosh darn it. Alright. Well, that's annoying. Alright, so where's puzzle piece number 1 then? Yes, we're gonna be backtracking on this nonsense. No, it wasn't in the sands. Then we got all these things. These. It's not that. Oh, it looks like there's like a back way there. Alright, so... Pop you out. There you are. Whatever you are. The Dream Chaser has the right to bear arms. No, I don't, it's okay, J-Cat. I don't need help. Not at this point. Oh, there we go. There we go. I normally talk aloud my thoughts and such like this. And besides, like, later on in the game, do you want me to hinder? Oh, goodness. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to hinder me? Eat your controller for a cool scent. No thanks. I'm good. Innocence be back here, so we go back out this way. Why would it give me this, like... Because this was apparently the location of the second puzzle piece. Purple sand is bad. Noted. Think about boobs. That's my secret! You think I don't think about boobs all the time? You don't think, Ink, that I think about those precious memories? Those bounding bazongas? Oh, you faint of heart. I'm always thinking of boobies. So the puzzle piece wasn't, like, here. Wait, or was it? Nope, doesn't look like I could jump up any higher. God damn it, Demon Sylveon! My muscles, my brain power is lost! Alrighty, let's... We're doing a review of the area. Yarg. Alright, so. Alright, so there was nothing in that sand. There's nothing in this one. Nothing on top of this tree. Nothing behind there. Nothing behind there. Nothing behind here. Cerveza Cristal. Let him figure it out. Thank you. If I want an answer, I will ask chat, okay? It will be a very direct request. It will not be like me just thinking aloud to myself, okay? It will be a very direct thingy-madiggies. Useful for making like even greater jumps. And we got the puzzle piece from...
Did you see it?
I understand it might have taken 30 minutes, but some people might actually be interested in me doing a 30-minute stream looking for one puzzle piece. Lord knows, it's probably going to be like a really dumb, like, you know, location that I'm going to absolutely despise. I is dehimbowed. So... to... Wait, was that me moving the leaves then? Yeah, that was me moving the leaves then. I thought it made an arrow. Alright, so we have this giant wall here. And then if we're up here, there's just gonna be that coin. I wonder what happens if I do try to defeat it, though. There we go. Alright, so. There's these two I didn't see earlier. Thank you, Jason. Damn, I thought riding on the bird was gonna do it. Engaging the thinking. So yeah, I picked up the second puzzle piece, so it has to be anywhere in this area working backwards. So... those things. So you have to get out of that thing in order to... Nope, those are just set dressings at best. If you open a multiplayer match and keep it running for 20, you'll get a chance to unlock Mewtwo. I don't think that's how it works, but sure. I wonder if it's because of a... Would it be because of... No, so it's not because of... So it's not something that's, like, there. It's not something that's out there, because it didn't look like it. So it has to be... So it has to be a puzzle that is hidden. It has to be a puzzle that isn't shown. Which means... So it's a hidden... So it's a hidden puzzle. X marks the spot thing. Have I tried eating the sand? It doesn't give me an option to eat the sand, I'll tell you that much. Alrighty, okay. J-Cat. Do you know where the first puzzle piece is for this trapped in sand thing? I'm giving J-Cat permission and only J-Cat. Okay. Where is the first puzzle piece? I imagine they're typing for a bit, so they're gonna be explaining something, which means it isn't gonna be like a, oh, you gotta turn around here. It's gonna be instructions. Restart the level, tilt your, oh, god damn it, it was one of those. I was never gonna fuck that. That's not a thinky good one, that's just annoying as fuck. Damn. How did I not notice it on the gold snake on my way in? God damn, because like I remember like telling myself it's like, oh, I gotta keep an eye on those ones when you like fly in and such. I can see why J-Cat was trying to give the hint. Yep. Just real extra painful nonsense. There we go. Gets rid of the platform. Gets us bot number 3. So yeah, so easily a case of once I'm done with this level, finding the rest of the robots. Oh wait, I need to hold on to the thing. There we go. That was a close one. This one's from a sand one. Desert Wanderer. Great at making friends. It's the one where they get a scarf and such. John Journeyman. I can see that Queen Pixel Kaiju, you and I, our humor is around about the same. We would be making the same jokes here and there. Ah! He poked me! He poked me and made me big and round. Damn it, I need to click on the thing and then pull him up. There we go. There. Boom. There we go. Do the spins. Oh my god, one of the robot guys died. Alright, 2 more to go. Oh, nice. I didn't know that would do that. How many robots have you found so far that were kissable? Ooh, kissable, you say. Oh, also we need to get the puzzle piece that's down there. I'll need to have a review of the robots that we've caught so far in order to give you an accurate answer, I'm sorry to say. Because there has not been that many, I'm gonna be real with you. Alright, so that puts us... So, the journey bot that we picked up, however, I would say that one was I would say that one's kissable. There we go. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, no. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I thought I was in... Here we go. Wait, why is my thing not working? Oh, it's because I'm not in a VC, so it won't let me do the sounds. I'll need to go into a VC very quickly, and then...
Chicken.
There we go. Alrighty. Ding. Dun 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 dun. Oh! Queen! Do you have a Nintendo Switch? Do you have a, Damn it. The first question is, do you have a Nintendo Switch? Second question, if you answered yes to that, do you have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? It's a dust collector at this point. Ah, shame. Are you kidding me? Bam. Alright, here we go. And then ding, and then don't. Jump across. Hit the egg. And we go through the sand hourglass. Wait, we're missing a robot, aren't we? Yeah, we're missing 2. Where the fuck are the missing robots? Hang on a second. Well, that's not gonna be a fun one to deal with. No, alright. We missed 2 robots at the end there. Oh yeah, I do. I enjoy Mario and his silly little cart from time to time. Well, did you know... Goddamn bird. Did you know that in approximately... Well, 12 hours from now, so depending on your time zone, I will be hosting a, Yeah, 12 hours from now. I shall be hosting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as part of our, What's-a-mahoozy thing, as part of the community stream that I do at the last Saturday of the month. Alrighty, where's the golden spider? It's like, not there, not there. There you are. Nice. Now we get our puzzle piece. Nice. We got the puzzle pieces. We're missing 2 robots, but that's okay. We've been kind of on a surplus of robots recently, so it's not been a huge loss. And besides, I wanna go to the thingy-madiggies and see what I unlock. Bah. Blast! There we go. Look at all these robots. Yay! The changing room is open. The only thing left to find is the perfect outfit. And then whatever the fuck is in there. Alright. Is this gonna let me... Alright, okay, so I have 2 outfits I can choose. So I can look like Parappa the Rapper. Or... I thought there would be more costumes, but I suppose not. Unless it's one of those things of more costumes are unlocked when people are, like, quote-unquote fulfilled. Alright, let's have a look so we can... Alright, so we can make it a shiny black, or... Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with the blast of color. Guys, isn't the PSN store so cool? That's Crash Bandicoot. Alright, so we've... Alright, hang on. So... We are gonna go into the gacha thing. I swear this is fun gameplay. Pull the lever. Crunch. So that's for the bowling. Jotnar's Shrine. That is for what's Mahuzi girl. Angrabota. That's their name! Angrabota! I honestly forgot about that. An origami bird. A tree for the tortoise. Cyber Canary. Oh no, because I unlocked the thing, it's gonna... Oh, teddy bear. Nice. Okay, so we can get costumes here and accessories. A calling card for the What's Mahuzi guy. Campfire for Kratos. Gran Turismo outfit. Boy's bow. Lol. Don't even give him his name, just say boy. A handy cannon. Nice. Bunker, Buster, and Ball. Gravity Shifter. Ooh, Champion's Gold. That looks cool. The Wanderer's Wool. Alright, here we go. Lamau, Heavy Rain. Brave of Sony to even reference Heavy Rain in this day and age. I don't know. The Acia Cleaver. Sun Pixie and Golden Snippers. I do not know this game that features this, that features that. Red Panda. Hey, the Eco Warrior outfit. I'm probably gonna wear that one, to be real with you. Colorful dice for the Devil in the Die Tails. Alright. A friendly drone. Stops its feline friend from going astray. A treasured memento. The village loudspeaker. Magical smithy. Deek's drifter. Oh my god, there's so many of these. Let's go gambling! Traveler bag and a distracting masonry. Can I make you sick, I wonder? No, I cannot. Okay. Ringtail thingamadoogies. Survival kit for Ellie. Thief's cane and mini vault. You're probably... So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of references. Guiding light, like a GPS for the Colossi. Shape-shifting staff. Another gravity thing. Horn protector. Speeder nonsense. Tome of knowledge. Makes for illuminating reading. And last one. A pirate outfit. Alrighty. Alright, let's get you through. Oh, Twitch is being weird. Give it a refresh. Oh, you gave me a follow, that's why. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna go around this thing real quick. I'm gonna show you all the cool peeps. You ready for this? It just unfollowed me. Huh? You unfollowed me? How could you? How could you? How could you unfollow me? It's not fair. It's alright, I forgive you. You did follow me again. Alrighty, so we've got Weird Dust Bunny over here. Let's start from the right and work our way. So we've got this guy. Alright, so we got you. We got the bowling. Which is... Oh, okay, I see. It's this guy. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, come on. Alright, here we go, here we go. Oh, you serious? Nice! Okay, we did a knockout there. Excellent. Another puzzle piece for the map. Slim Potato Pete. This guy, Slim Potato Pete. Alright, over here, we've got Phantom Thieves. Got this guy. Lost their head. Give us Bloodborne real ready. So that's the mushroom guy. And then that's Joel with his thing. And here's Ellie. Ow. And then we've got What's-Mahoozy Granny. What is that? And then those guys are hard at work doing nothing. This is... They're lizards. Why did they make Crash Bandicoot, like... Alright, next time I'm gonna need to do that at like a... If next time I do fursuiting at a con, I'm gonna need to learn how to do Crash Bandicoot's thingy-majiggy. Because that honestly would probably be like, you know, something funny. That'd be a good photo thing. Oh, and then there's Jack. Oh. And then these are the Apes Escapes. Costume actually your mortal enemy. Alright, where is... Alright, who's this? No understanding of that reference, sorry. Oh, does anyone know this one? Doggy! Alright, so you're missing something. You've got something. You're missing something. Honestly, that looks delicious. Alright, so that was Freya. Angraboda! Oh. Nice, I can have him like hit someone else. Wait, how far is his range? I need to like, alright, here we go. Nice. Oh. Cerveza Cristal. Don't walk away from the... Okay, let me head back to the dog. Since you missed the dog so much. There, look, there he is. There's dog. There he is. There's doggo. You know the bot made out of cubes? No, I do not know the bot made out of cubes, I'm sorry to say. Oh, goodness me. 2 days without drinking, like, you know, Coke Zero or anything like that. It's gonna definitely do something to you. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I am going to stop raids for the hour. So then that way I don't get hit with a raid. Because... Also, check it out. Our Wednesday, game right here. Ah! And then cat. All right, let's have a look at the costumes. We have new costumes to use. Yay! fucking go. Like they're Western. Alright. Alright. So we've got Serpent Stairway or whatever the fuck it's called. So we filled that one. That one's missing the last two. That one's missing the portal thing. We're missing one character from that. Oh, Comet. Okay. I'm gonna leave this robot guy for, like, next week's stream or something like that, because... yeah, we're gonna leave that for another week's stream, or what have you, so... Who knows, maybe, depending on the speed at which we go through Black Myth Wukong on Monday, we might swap over to having Astro Bot across Tuesdays of the week rather than just one. But I'm gonna call the stream here. I'm gonna be online again in like 12 hours. I'm gonna need to be awake before then for Mario Kart 8. I've sent a lot of messages for people to be like, hey, would you like to join in? And would you also, and you're welcome for VC, you select few and such like that. But for everyone else, you're welcome to join in on the games and what have you. I'll have like a room code or some nonsense for you guys to use, so then that way you can join into the game. But yeah, I say we're gonna leave it here. I'll have a quick look and see who is online and who is streaming. Let's see, we got Dazzy, we got actually limit it to my list of followings, and let's have a look. Let's look. You know what? It has been a while. It has been a long time since we've actually raided into Code the Yoshi, and I know a number of you are familiar with Code the Yoshi already, but I reckon it's still a nice one to transition over to and what have you. In the meantime, our raid message is going to be, if you want, we'll go something completely different. Plate you. That is gonna be our raid message. I reckon it's gonna be a little bit funny to him, and he's probably gonna like it. If you do not have the emotes, that is okay. You're welcome to use whatever other kinds of emotes you think that can be appropriate for the inflate you big and round. Otherwise, thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful time over at Code the Yoshis. I'm gonna have a sleep. I'll be back online tomorrow morning with Mario Kart 8 if you can't make it there. Otherwise, I'll hopefully see you all next time as you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. Bye for now.